head-to-head Bullseye versus Road Warrior, indirect versus direct fire. How does it change the ribs? Stay tuned, you'll find out. We've got 2 racks of ribs seasoned up with that Rossarooski's honey rib rub. We've got the Road Warrior fired up to 250 degrees. We've got the Bullseye Deluxe fired up to 250 degrees. Let's see what happens. We'll see in a half an hour. All right, for a 30-minute check-in, let's look at the Bullseye. We're just starting to see that rib sweat on the top. No bark started, really no color difference there. Check out the Road Warrior, very similar, that rub just starting to sweat in, no color. Pretty even right now, neck and neck. We'll see you in 30 minutes. All right, we're 1 hour in. These recteq PID is holding temperature like a champ. Check out the Bullseye. We're just starting to see that bark sort of form and dry up. Jumping over to the Road Warrior. I'd say we're about 80% set. It's still kind of wet in some spots. We'll see you in another 30 minutes. All right, 90 minutes in, let's check it out. The ribs on the Bullseye. We're starting to get a little bit of bone pullback, which is indicator of these being done, and the color really starting to get nice and dark. Also a little percolation of fat kind of along the bone there. Those are all signs this cook is progressing along. On to the Road Warrior. Still, that bark is not set 100%. It is drier than it was previously. Not much changes there. We'll see you in 30 minutes. All right, 2 hours checking in. The ribs on the Bullseye, you can see much more pronounced pullback, darker color to the ribs, starting to sweat, all good signs. Jumping over to the Road Warrior. Our bark is almost all the way set. We'll see you in 2.5 hours. All right, 2.5 hours in, let's take a look at the ribs on our Bullseye. In reality, these things are looking delicious. Probably close to about 180 degrees, give or take. I like to take my St. Louis ribs really close to 200 degrees, maybe another 30 minutes, those are gonna be done. Jumping over to the Road Warrior. The bark's looking great, but internal temperature is gonna be probably closer to 150 or so. And that's where direct fire at the same temp is gonna make the biggest difference on internal temperature as these cook. Again, maybe another hour or so on those, we shall see. All right, 3 hours in, the ribs on the Bullseye are done. You got good bone pullback, that's a good indicator. But for me, it's all about probe tender. I can poke these ribs and they are super tender. Internal temp is right over 200 degrees. That's where I like my St. Louis ribs. We'll pull these off so people don't think we're lying here. The Road Warrior. Again, bone pullback is not as prevalent. Internal temperature is probably closer to about 180 degrees right now. In all reality, we probably have about another hour and 20 minutes on these ribs. Again, that's the biggest difference between direct and indirect heat. Direct is gonna cook your food faster. There's nothing wrong with it, just embrace it. All right, the ribs on the Bullseye finished right at 3 hours. Again, it's more about feel than time or temperature. But you can see 3 hours in, we got a beautiful smoke ring, nice tender rib. It's almost lunchtime. It's hard to hate on that. All right, so we're at the 3 hour, 30-minute mark on these ribs on the Road Warrior. We're right about 166 on these. Appear to be kind of in the stall, completely normal. Again, we're cooking with indirect heat. It's gonna take a little bit longer. All right, 4.5 hours in, the ribs on this Road Warrior. Look at that, all right? Again, we got some good bone pull. For me, you get some percolation of the fat in here, but probe tender is what we're looking for. We'll pull these off, let them rest, slice them up. Again, indirect on the Road Warrior, 4.5 hours at 250 degrees. That's what you can expect. Now let's see how they taste. As we wrap this up, just keep in mind, when you cooked direct fire, I'm talking the left side of the dual fire or the Bullseye, you can expect your food to cook a little bit faster at the same time as it does on the indirect cookers, whether you're using the Patio Legend, the Road Warrior, or the Flagship. Doesn't matter if you're cooking direct or indirect, you get very similar results each and every time. Let's go ahead and slice these up. You see those ribs are nice and tender, good smoke ring. Let's see how they taste. Nice tender bite, great flavor. Again, keep in mind, the smaller your grill might cook a little bit faster. Direct versus indirect, you're not gonna see much in the end result, but you will see a little bit difference during the cooking process. If you like this video, you found some good nuggets of information, comment down below, share it, and as always, we'll see you at the recteq.